Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Chapter 2, Lesson 5. This is all about solving multi-step equations. So one of the first things that we really have to look at is a problem like this. This problem involves using the distributive property. So recall that the distributive property says that whatever is on the outside of the parentheses gets applied to everything on the inside of the parentheses. So the way that this would look is negative 3 times 4p minus negative 3 times 6. That would be equal to 54. Negative 3 times 4p is negative 12p. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18, and minus a negative 18 would be plus 18. That equals 54. This is now a simple two-step equation. Subtract 18 from both sides to get negative 12p all by itself. 54 minus 18 would be 36. Then we divide both sides by negative 12, and we'd have p is equal to negative 3. This right here is the key step, though. We need to do the distributive property. So now that we've seen that, let's talk about different numbers of solutions. Most of the time, we've always had it where we've had one solution. And most of the time, we are looking at something along the lines of x equals 3, or x equals negative 7, where we have a variable equal to a number. But we can also have no solution. In that case, it could be something along the lines of 4 equals 0. 4 doesn't equal 0. At the end, we could also have negative 2 equals positive 2. Those two aren't the same. So when we would have no solution, we would have a number equaling a different number. Because if two different numbers are set equal to each other, you can't have that. That's impossible. So we have one solution. We have no solutions. We can also have all solutions. And what that would look like is 4 equals 4, or x equals x. And more generic, something equals itself. So let's look at example 2. It says solve that equation. First of all, we have to undo the distributive property. So 3 times 4x and 3 times 8 would be 12x plus 24. On the right side, 2 times 6x is 12x, and 2 times 12 is 24. Now, at this point, I can see that the left side is the right side, so something equals itself. So this would be all solutions. But let's go through the process anyway to show why this works. So I'm going to subtract 12x for both sides to get rid of this 12x over here. I'm left with 24. I now have 12x minus 12x, which again is a 0 pair. So I'm left with just 24 again. Again, something equals itself. And if I continue this process, subtract 24 from both sides, I now have 0 equals 0. And the way that I would write this is all solutions. Because you have something equaling itself, something equaling itself, something equaling itself. All right, let's look at example 3 then. So it says solve this equation. So 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times 3 is 12, and then a minus 6x. 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times 3 is 21. First of all, I need to combine like terms, so there's 20x and minus 6x are like terms. So 20x minus 6x is 14x plus 12 equals 14x plus 21. You might be able to see it already as well, but let's still go through the process. So I'm going to subtract 14x from both sides to get rid of this 14x term, create a 0 pair. So a 0 pair here, all I'm left with is 12. 0 pair also here, and I'm left with just 21. So now I have a number equaling a different number. If we look on the front side again, a number equaling a different number means that it is no solution, which means that I would write down no solution. And example 4, a word problem. So it says the length of Philip's stride when walking is 4 inches greater than the length of Anne's stride. If Philip takes 5 steps and Anne takes 6 steps to walk the same distance, how long is Anne's stride? So if I start looking at this, I have 5 of Philip's is equal to 6 of Anne's. We know that because it says 5 steps and Anne takes 6 steps to walk the same distance, which means that they are at the same point after 5 and 6 steps. So let's start figuring out how long each person's stride is. So Philip's stride, it says when walking is 4 inches greater than Anna's. So I'm going to be comparing it off of Anne's stride. So I'm going to put A. So over here, Philip's, it says it's 4 inches greater than Anne's. So I'm going to say A plus 4. This is how long each person's stride is. Now to figure out how long Anne's stride is, I have to start looking at, they've gone the same distance. So 5 of Philip's is equal to 6 of Anne's. So to undo the distributive property here, 5 times A is 5A, and 5 times 4 is 20. I now have variables on both sides. My process was I want all the variables on the same side. So in order to get rid of it over here, I have to subtract 5A. Creates a 0 pair. I'm left with 20. 6A minus 5A is just A. And that's what I want. I wanted to know what Anne's stride was. So Anne's stride is 20. The units are inches because it states right here. Inches long. And that's the end of lesson 5. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a good day.